Will the MPC Live Mark II be out soon? Well, there's a lot of speculation that it will be, and it all started with one line in code. And the first place that I actually saw this code was inside of the gearsluts.com forum, and I'll leave a link to the thread below. And in the forum, there was a post called that said, MPC Live Mark II soon. So somebody was going through the updater for the MPC, and they came across a script, and the script basically said MPC Live Mark II in it. And here's what the script is. Here's the code. Okay, so if you look right here, you got MPCX, MPC Live, and then you got the MPC1, MPC Live MK2. Right there. So this is the script that started it all. You know, later on, right here, the MPC tutor kind of put this inside of an article as well on February the 14th, comparing the MPC1 versus the MPC Live. I'll leave a link to this article down below as well if you want to read about some of the differences here. The MPC tutor goes on to say, did products tend to go in 3-year cycles? The MPC Live has been out of stock in many stores. And then it says the MPC1 seems to share far too many features with the current MPC Live model for them to both sit comfortably in Akai's active product line, in his opinion. Okay, sure. Again, this is all just speculation, but a couple days ago, we did see this. And again, I'm going to refer to the MPC tutor on this because this is where I first found out. Akai's latest FCC submission, MPC Live Mark II, and then he leaves a link to that app. Now, a link to the FCC app is in the forum post below, so you can check that out on that forum post because it has basically all this information in it. All right, so the product description is the standalone MPC with 7-inch touch display with a speaker. All right, so let's go ahead and look at these first images. So these were the first images I saw, and we can kind of see the shape of it because, you know, MPC, or Akai rather, they want to keep some things confidential so they can market this thing how they want to market it. It looks like an MPC Live, just like a regular MPC Live as far as the shape of it. But down here, we get this extra little piece, which is speculated to be a rest for your arm, like a wrist rest. And then over here, it looks like there's a speaker. Now, somebody in the MPC standalone Facebook group said that, you know, they think that this is going to be a sequencer, which would make a lot of sense, which would be worth the upgrade. But if you look at the back, all right, the bottom, the top, they're not really giving you a lot. So these images were taken from the actual FCC document. I don't really want to show that document on here. You could check that out for yourself. It is public record, and it is inside of here. So you can actually find it in the forum here as well. So you can find it there. You know, it's not hard to find. Right there, if you click that, all right, you can see in music asks for a short-term confidential treatment for the internal photos. All right, and so this is why this next part is it officially going to look like this or not? Let's see if this is what it's going to look like. So the MPC tutor shared this image right here. Now this image looks like the MPC Live Mark I with a few extra buttons, an extra knob, and then whatever this is down here. Which again is probably, you know, your wrist rest. I'm not really sure. It basically looks like the MPC Live, but you get a few extra buttons at the top here. You get that volume there, which makes sense. And then you get a couple buttons down here, like you get an extra button here, and they all have secondary functions. And then down here, you get this gray area, which would make a lot of sense if they did make this an actual sequencer. That would really bring this up a notch. Now, I know that you got the pads and you could sequence with the pads using the lights, but it would just be so much cooler. Like, there's just something that's great about that classic sequencer if it was down there. So somebody in the MPC Live standalone Facebook forum mentioned that's what they think it's going to be. And honestly, that would be really cool if that's what it was, but it's not really looking like it. According to this picture, it just looks like a pad for your wrist. But it does have a speaker spot right there. Now, if you look at the back of it, there are 4 little slots right there. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this right here is going to be for your CV gates. All right, right in the back. Everything else looks the same except for you do get a link port right here. So there you go. So here's what it might look like. The MPC Live Mark II. And if this is what it looked like, you get the CV ports, you get a volume knob on the top, and then you get 4 extra buttons on the top here, and then you get an extra button here. And yeah, and you know, they move some of the buttons over here on the top, so you get a mute button and then the sample edit button, which is pretty cool. I personally think that they should just make these buttons customizable, or at least have like a customizable section with a few customizable buttons. Because if this thing down here is not a step sequencer, to me, there's no point of having a step sequencer button, because I very rarely use the step sequencer button. Like, to me, it would make more sense to make that program edit or something like that. But we don't know any information about it. Is it going to carry the same 2 gigabytes of RAM? Is it going to carry the same multi-core processor? If so, is it really going to be worth upgrading? I guess the real thing is, if you do have the CV gates that you want to use, it would be worth upgrading. But other than that, doesn't look like there's a lot to be added onto. Now I'm sharing this because maybe you want an MPC Live, and maybe it's a good idea to kind of wait until this one comes out. This way you can get these upgraded features, because if you have a choice between the Mark 1 and Mark 2, the Mark 2 might be a better option for you because you get the CV gates. Now there's a train going by the way. But, you know, if you don't need those CV gates, maybe the price of the MPC Live Mark 1 will go down, and you can find a pretty good, you know, price Mark 1 for, you know, pretty good, and buy a used one. So again, this is not an official announcement. There's no release date. There is no price. We have none of this stuff. This is just speculation going off this image that isn't even from the official Akai Professional documents. Now, when the MPC tutor shared this on his page, I shared it into the MPC Live Facebook group right away. So if you're not a member of that group and you have the MPC Live, consider being a member of that group, because I kind of share other different things over in that group. And honestly, I want to know your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know if this is real. What are your thoughts on it? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Are you upset? Because a lot of people are upset, and I get it. But I really want to know your thoughts about it. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Are you happy about this? Are you upset about this? What is better, the MPC 1 or the MPC Live in your opinion? What upgrades did you want to see, or do you still want to see in the MPC Live Mark II? And, you know, let's talk about it in the comments below. Let's get a discussion going.